Okay, well, welcome back from the lunch. It makes quite a change to see everyone in person. You've seen so many of these faces on Zoom for a long time. So I'm Sofia Abrahamsson. In my everyday job, I'm based at the Swedish Research Council, where I work with, I'm involved in questions relating to EOSC and to our national coordination assignment on open access to research data as well. But I'm here today also as in a recent capacity as the co-chair of the EOSC Steering Board subgroup on national contributions to the EOSC, which is then a subgroup within the Commission expert group that was established to work on monitoring on open science and EOSC. So I will show you today some of the materials from the European Commission, including then the first results from a survey for which data was quite recently initiated and to which the EOSC Steering Board members are currently providing answers to through the EOSC Observatory. You have already heard of some of the other work priorities that the Steering Board is undertaking at the moment, and the survey on the national contributions to the EOSC is one of the priorities on the current work plan of the EOSC Steering Board. The EOSC and open science monitoring is being discussed in one of the subgroups called National Contributions to the EOSC, which includes members from the Commission, the Member States, and the EOSC Association. The tasks of this subgroup include, as you can see here, benchmarking of activities on the international, national, regional, and institutional levels, and monitoring the benefits of policies to the EOSC. This work with monitoring will also contribute to the outcomes of Action 1, corresponding to EOSC on the ERA policy agenda for 2022 and 24, where establish a monitoring mechanism is one of the three expected outcomes of the policy agenda. The monitoring aims at follow progress and push forward the objective of open science becoming the new norm, according to this framework, the open science framework that has been developed by the European Commission. And this is the central wording since the first Research and Innovation Days in 2019. And the focus of this group is, the focus of the monitoring will be to monitor progress towards getting open science becoming the new norm by 2030, a strategic objective that was jointly agreed by the Governance Board and the European Commission in 2020. And one of the general objectives of the SRIA that was published in 2021. The vision for open science here is that research is based on an open collaborative work and the systematic sharing of knowledge and data as early and as widely as possible in the process, where research digital objects are fair, open and reproducible, and where the co-creation of the research and innovation agendas and content is inclusive. So based on this, there are three dimensions that are currently included in the framework. There are policies, practices, and impact. And for both policies and practices, the elements to monitor are organized into 4 different areas: the open access to publications, research data management infrastructure and EOSC, collaborations, and incentives, rewards, and skills. So monitoring is, not just about following a process, but also fostering alignment and compliance across Europe on all levels. The EOSC tripartite governance is engaged in the work, aiming at establishing a joint mechanism to collect data and to monitor the contributions related to EOSC and open sciences. So one key benefit of this is, of course, to reduce the number of surveys and easing the burden on those answering surveys on the same topics. And as has been mentioned before as well, the deployment of this single joint capacity to monitor the uptake of open science and EOSC is being developed now in the EOSC Observatory. The steering board, the subgroup, has now focused since 2021 on, in particular, research, data management, infrastructures, and EOSC, which are the core subjects of EOSC, of course, but will, in the next steps, also expand to include other open science elements. So we're at this stage now. There's a survey that has been launched and that you have heard is currently being answered to by the EOSC Steering Board, and we will show you the first results coming out of this. The first survey for the EOSC Steering Board members was launched in April, I think, and has been launched in the EOSC Observatory as a tool to collect, analyze, and visualize data. So this is the current status, and at the moment there are 19 questions on policies and financial contributions which countries can provide information to in the observatory. So the monitoring is open for 45 countries, and the status as of April is that 13 countries are currently contributing with information, and 4 countries have validated the full survey already. The monitoring scheme is currently being developed, and will, at the final stages, include 28 questions and around 80 indicators. And so I will show you some examples of how policies and practices may be analyzed in the observatory. And this is just one example of how policies and skills and competencies can be analyzed. So you see here some initial visualizations from the EOSC Observatory. This is not only a tool to collect, but also to analyze and visualize the information. So this map highlights countries with national and regional policies on skills and competencies for open science, and shows that 8 member states now have national or regional policies in place targeting science skills and competencies. And the grey countries here are countries who have access to the observatory, but they have not yet provided information. The green dot shows where countries that have contributed with information on best practices. And this similarly is just another example that shows where there has been information on infrastructure, so policies of infrastructures provided. So these are just some initial visualizations, but please keep in mind that these are still early results, and the survey must still be completed and validated before we draw the final conclusions. But as you can see, the results here will be helpful in order to understand how countries are working towards open science in different countries and at what levels these initiatives are taking place. So one of the crucial benefits of the monitoring is the mutual learning that we can draw from each other. So with more data, in-depth discussions and matchmaking of policies and strategies, we can contact and learn from each other and have initiate dialogues on mutual experiences. So in the next iteration, the subgroup will be looking at adding a level of detail to the analysis through including also all open science elements and more content on the policies relating to some of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.